Tēnā koutou e te iwi wānui uri noa tō tātou nei maunga. Nei tāku e tuku atu te reo aroha ki a koutou katoa. Koutou rā e wakarongo mai ana mai tā wā I, mai wā I ki. Nei tāku e tuku atu, erere atu ki runga I te hau o tā uri mātia. Ioi anō rā, welcome back to Te Wāpā Reka Reka, and it is my privilege to have our guest speaker, our manuhiri that we have here this morning, and that is Maiana Gray. And ka tuku au I te pau ki a koe mai ana, kia mōhio mai ngā kai kōrero, ngā kai wakarongo, ko ai no hea koe, no reira waiho te wā ki a koe, Maiana, tēnā koe.
Tēnā koe tai, kia ora e te iwi, ko wai au, ko tainui te waka, ko tārarua te maunga, ko manua tū te awa, ko Ngāti Huia te hapu, ko Matau te marae, ko Ngāti Raukawa ki te tonga Ngāti Toa Rangatira o ku iwi, ko Maiana Gray, ahau. So I'm from the Centre of Māori Suicide Prevention, which is under Te Rauora. So ngā mihi kia koutou.
Tēnā koe mai ana nau mai ara mai me o iwi kei runga I o paka I tō paka iwi. I oi anō rā, and again, ka huri te kai o te waka ki te reo tuarua, hei mōhiotanga mā ngā kai wakarongo. So, and again, big welcome back to Te Korimako o Taranaki, because you were with us last year having this kōrero about the funding. And, you know, as you and I spoke earlier on, and I've made this clear on radio as well, that I've lost my son through suicide. So understanding about what other people feel and what you can source out there, pretty much to me is a huge thing, and there's not much out there. That's all I can say. There's not much out there. But before we get into that, let's talk about your team. Let's talk about the Centre of Māori Suicide Prevention. Kei a koe te wā?
So the Centre of Māori Suicide Prevention is actually a team under Te Rauora. So Te Rauora is our organisation, which is all about strengthening Māori health and wellbeing, and particularly with developing the Māori workforce. And our team at the Centre of Māori Suicide Prevention, we're all about developing the Māori workforce for suicide prevention and wellness. And that means the workforce for us is not just, you know, clinicians and doctors and people who hold positions there. The workforce is actually whānau for suicide prevention. It's actually bringing everybody together for this kaupapa.
Tēnā koe, Maiana. Beautiful sentiments. And, you know, I was reading on your website about some of the mahi and the recognition of, you know, recognising what suicide is, going through all the different stages that whether it's the person going through that or whether it's the whānau going through it. I like the whānau concept, because I think that's one thing that shines out of anything that we do in Māoridom is our whānau. Can you talk to us about how that works, you know, in terms of what your mahi is and what you do with the whānau?
So particularly, you know, one way that we really want to help with suicide prevention is to build the capacity of whānau Māori to look after each other and to draw on our strengths and to use those strengths. And part of that is actually the kaupapa of the Māori Suicide Prevention Community Fund. So that is actually funding which is all about empowering whānau to create solutions to help in this space. We have funding which is available now for whānau to apply, and it's so that we can create solutions for suicide prevention. We might think, you know, it's something that people are sometimes a bit whakamā to talk about. It's, you know, we're used to not talking about it, but actually that's actually not helping. And so we want to bring that out, and we can't sit back anymore and think, it's not our problem. it is our problem. But with that, we actually have solutions. And that's what the Community Fund is about bringing those solutions out of our whānau to tautoko for suicide prevention and mental well-being. So, ai.
Kia ora rā, tēnā koe mo i rā kōrero. And you're right, do you think that when we take a look at suicide, we like, you know, I mean, it's like we've been told that it's shame, you know, but it's the ones that get left behind are the ones that need the help. That's what I see in my situation. But it's, you know, it's, I suppose, you know, when you take a look at the mahi that you do and your team do, and what's the most outstanding thing, you know, it's the one thing that stands out for you within those wānanga, within that kōrero that you recognise?
Yeah, I think the standout thing for me is realising that we already have solutions. And it's just about bringing those solutions out. You know, we've grown up in a world, in a colonised system that has, you know, put us in a box and, you know, this is what's wrong with you. And we're told everything that's wrong with us. But actually, suicide prevention and Te Ao Māori is all about reconnecting with who we are and celebrating everything that's right with us, because you know, we have a lot to celebrate and we've got a lot to bring out in Te Ao Marama. That is who we are, is our identity. And I think it's about reconnecting with that, and those solutions that we have, we need to draw on those and bring those out.
Kia ora rā, tēnā koe. So tell us about the funding and what that covers for community, for Māori communities, whānau. Tell us how that works.
Aye. So at the moment, the 2023 round of funding, it's called the Community Fund, is open for whānau hapu to apply. So whānau hapu groups can apply for up to $10,000. Māori community groups can apply for up to $25,000. And then there's some larger funding streams for iwi and Māori providers and iwi Māori provider collaborations, which are 50 to 100K. But particularly for us, we see whānau and hapu and Māori community groups that are coming from previous funds, and all the funding is to run initiatives that will help strengthen our communities and encourage mental well-being. And so those initiatives, you might think, oh, you know, what kind of initiatives are they? It's, as I said before, it's about bringing those solutions out. So successful solutions draw on Te Ao Māori. So using our ways of being, our ways of healing to build and strengthen our communities. And it's a reconnection with our whenua, our moana, our awa, our roto, our ngāhere. It's being able to use our ways, rongoā Māori, mirimiri, romi. It's being able to engage with toi Māori, mahi toi, using waiata, expressing ourselves with kapahaka. Actually, you know, on our website, we've got a whole range of successful initiatives from past years, and those initiatives, they've drawn on, you know, specific strengths of their communities and used them to help reconnect whānau with Te Ao Māori. So it's been able to use those, our ways of being, our ways of doing, our ways of healing, to be able to empower whānau.
Yeah, you sort of don't realise that all of those things, you know, all of those initiatives you're talking about, like waiata, like, you know, kapahaka and all of that, until you're in a situation where I see myself and then others, that you realise, wow, you know, And here I am thinking I'm tūturu Māori. but yeah, and it's not until you come into these situations where you realise how important those things are to the whānau, ne?
Aye. And sometimes we can lose, you know, we kind of take it for granted, like that it's always there. But being able to really draw on those and use them to bring everybody together and to reconnect us with each other, so that it's not just come to a wānanga and then that's it. But it's come, gather together, let's learn, let's talk about our journey, let's talk about what our next steps are, let's grow this, so it becomes a more deliberate and purposeful, I think, for us.
Tēnā koe mō o kāro Māori. Kia hoki atu rā ki te whenua, ki te rangi, āna. Tika tāu. Ioi anō rā. Well, we're coming down to the end of our interview, and I want to leave these last words with you. But I've already been on your website. I've already taken a look at all the kōrero and the videos that are in there, and they're very inspiring, especially when you're in a situation where a lot of other families, not just myself, there's a lot of other families that are going through this, and that I have to say that it gave me sort of inspiration as to what it is that I wanted to do. And let's hope that I get my application in first.
Absolutely. And particularly when you've suffered, a loss, and I don't know anybody who hasn't been touched by this kaupapa. It is, something that we need to all pull together on. We need everybody on this waka. And some of the, most beautiful initiatives have come from, whānau who have been grieved and bereaved from suicide. And it becomes not only a way of healing, but also a way of prevention for mātātou, and all the whānau. So we really, please, it's not too late. If you're just hearing about this for the first time, go onto our website, check it out, www.centreofmaorisuicideprevention.com. We've tried to make the application process as easy as possible. Applications are on our website, so you apply online. And, it really is about empowering whānau for this kaupapa, and bringing out those solutions. And as as you've expressed, and you've showed so much courage to kōrero about your experience and, with the loss of your son. So ngā mihi kia koe for that. And thank you for the opportunity to kōrero about it, because we really do need to get this out there. We need to kōrero about it. And we need everybody on this waka. I think of, Whina, who, amazing things that she did, and her kōrero was not one more acre. And I think if we can get everybody together on this waka and say, not one more life, not one more lost, because every loss, we weep for, and we cry for, and we tangi for, and we want to get everyone on this waka so that we can help each other.
Ai tēnā koe mo e rā o ngā mei, e rā o ngā tohu hei wakataungia mai rā i a tātou katoa. Hioi anō rā. Norongi tērā, look, thank you, Mai Ana, for coming on board with us. And again, the beautiful work that you guys do. And everybody else out there that are trying to, get the family through, or trying to help the family out with their loved ones, and getting through to the stage where it's order. Ko te hauora me te mea nui, ne? and koe he tēnā, but mihi atu ki a koe mai te korima ko Taranaki, and especially from myself, mihi to both you and your team there at Te Rauora, the Centre of Māori Suicide Prevention, mihi kawana ki a koutou. Iwi mā, koutou rā, e wakarongo mai ana. Now the information is going across, so check it out if you want to know anything about the suicide prevention funding. The website is www.centreofmaorisuicideprevention.com. Nei tāku e tuku atu te reo aroha ki a koutou katoa, tēnā koutou, a pai marire. Stay with me, Mayana, I'll be back with you.